JuJu Watkins tells Fox that Caitlin Clark is cool for saying she benefits from white privilege. Even college basketball players are turning on Indiana Fever guard Caitlin Clark for being a successful women's basketball player, claiming she's only famous because she's white. JuJu Watkins plays for the USC Trojans women's basketball team, and she's the real deal. She currently holds an outside chance of breaking Clark's NCAA scoring record and will be a highly coveted draft pick in a couple of years. In an interview with Fox News Digital, she talked about how she believed that Time magazine made the right call in giving her the Female Athlete of the Year award. "I'm all for it," Watkins said. "I honestly think she deserves it. I don't think anyone has changed the trajectory of the sport so much, so I honestly think she deserves every bit of it." Thank goodness, someone in the world of women's basketball gets it. Clark brought an unprecedented amount of popularity to a league, the WNBA, that hadn't had much in its entire existence. Giving her the award is a no-brainer. But don't get too excited. Watkins still very much subscribes to progressive thought. She was asked about comments Clark made about receiving Time's award. Clark, incorrectly, assumed that white privilege contributed to her rise to fame and said as much in her interview with the magazine. Like your typical liberal, Watkins thought it was awesome that Clark chose to say this. "It's super dope," Watkins said. For her to kind of bring that to light was cool. Just to recap, Watkins said she believes that Clark deserved the award, but also believes she's popular because of white privilege. "I can't make it make sense, so I won't try. The more I follow women's basketball, the more I realize they're all lunatics." USC Trojans versus Maryland Terrapins women's basketball. Preview, prediction, odds, TV channel. The No. 4 USC Trojans women's basketball team is 14-1, 4-0 in Big Ten Conference play. USC is coming off their most dominant win yet, defeating the Rutgers Scarlet Knights by 50 points. The women of Troy will face the No. 8 Maryland Terrapins on January 8. How to watch. The USC Trojans women's basketball team will open against the Maryland Terrapins at 5:30 p.m. PT on Wednesday at Xfinity Center in College Park, Maryland. The game broadcast will be on FS1. USC versus Maryland preview. The matchup between Maryland and USC will be a top 10 matchup. The women of Troy are coming off a big win against the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, 92-42. It was an overall dominant performance by the Trojans at Jersey Mike's Arena. Having back-to-back road games can be challenging, but the Trojans have the momentum heading into Maryland. Despite the dominating win, USC coach Lindsay Gottlieb believed the offense was not that good in the first half. In many games this season, USC ran away in the second half but kept it close in the first. "I didn't think we were that good on offense in the first half. We had 13 turnovers. We talked about turning it over last week. We talked about learning to keep our foot on the gas, not playing the scoreboard," Gottlieb said. "We're still a relatively new team together. We're still growing together." Even with away games, the USC Trojans draw in big crowds in support for them, which was seen at the Rutgers game. More, USC Trojans signed transfer Kevin Longstreet from Texas A&M, QB Houston's brother. More, USC Trojans coach Lincoln Riley visits five-star Brandon Arrington at Mount McGill. More, USC Trojans land transfer portal quarterback Sam Howard, former five-star recruit. "I think it's really unreal. We come in here to do a job, trying to get the win, trying to get better at our transition defense or whatever play we're calling, but when you think big picture, it really is something," Gottlieb said about USC drawing in a large crowd on the East Coast. "I've said it in JuJu's had really a cultural impact. I mean that the girls and boys that come to the game, the way that it's impacted our program. It's hard to impact winning like this." USC guard JuJu Watkins and forward Kiki Iriafen have been consistent this season, scoring double digits in every game. Watkins leads the team averaging 25.1 points per game, while Iriafen averages 17.9 points, but leads the team with 9 rebounds. The Big Ten Conference has many tough teams. Watkins spoke about the talented conference after the Rutgers win. It's a blessing every time we come out here and play a solid team, and I think that's an occurrence that happens often, Watkins said. The Maryland Terrapins are undefeated this season with a 14-0 record. The Terrapins have defeated 3 ranked opponents this year, but USC will be their first top 10 matchup. Guard Kayleen Smickle is leading the Terrapins with 18.1 points and 1.9 steals per game. Guard Sailor Poffenbarger leads with 9.3 rebounds and 1.0 blocks per game. Trojans defeated Maryland